Thank you. Our presenters were stuck in traffic this morning, and that's why we're a little behind schedule. You were asked to bring your books. If you don't have your books, it's okay. I will dismiss your class first to head back to Block 1 so we can get started. Miss Erin Trent, she's with us this morning. She's the Community Relations Director for Sneaker Villa. I know that they're called Villa now, and you're very familiar with those stores. Ms. Trent came to us and asked if we would be interested in a free assembly. And free is always good because the average assembly costs anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 to present to our students. So we are very thankful that Sneaker Villa is bringing this to us this morning. Join the Movement is Villa's campaign to revitalize urban communities by supporting economic empowerment, educational opportunities, and exposure to multicultural experiences, heroes, and other inspirational figures. Thanks to Ms. Trent, we are able to have the Black History Take a Chance tour here this morning with a group called Poetry in Motion, and I'll let her introduce them for us.
Thank you, Ms. Walls. Thank you very much for your time this morning. We are very excited to be here at Norristown High School. You guys are a great group of students. I'll be very brief. We have the privilege of bringing a group of performers, a group of poets and spoken word artists who have a very special message for students about taking a chance, finding something exciting in life to hold on to, and doing the best job we can do as students and also as fellow human beings. So I'd like to now introduce Poetry in Motion. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. All right, we're going to start real quickly because we had a whole Black History Month program set up for y'all, but like I said, we got here too late. So we're going to get into the poetry aspect of Poetry in Motion. Basically, we're going to tell you a little bit about our experience as growing up as young kids and the reason why we come out to the schools to talk to the kids about taking a chance with their life. How many kids are into hip-hop? Yeah, how many of y'all love hip-hop? Okay, now we know that hip-hop has a great influence on our young people, our young generation. So we are mostly positive artists, positive poets. We talk about poetry, we talk about our life experience and the things that we've been through as young children, making the wrong decisions. Now we're trying to make the right decisions. So we're trying to help you and steer you in the right direction so you can keep on doing the right thing, like coming to school, trying to get an education and be productive in life. I'm saying don't be persuaded or influenced by any negative influence that's in your surroundings. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my group. This is like 1/3 of Poetry in Motion. It's like a good 12 of us. But today I have with me, I have Brother John, Brother Jay.
Good, Joe. How you doing?
I have Brother Tiptoe is here with us. And Brother E.W., we call him the Matrix. And these are the 3 poets that I have with me, including myself. I'm Will Little. I'm your host for this evening. And I'm going to be bringing these guys up. We're going to try to do a little dialogue back and forth if y'all really want to know the experience and the life experience that they have and about their poetry. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the first person to do a piece for y'all. It's Brother John on the stage. Give it a phone.
Good morning. I want to start by telling you guys a little bit about myself. I grew up in Philadelphia. I was faced by a lot of different decisions. South Philadelphia basically is where I was born and raised. And it's a place where things come at you instantaneously. You always had to make decisions that could affect your life, change your life, save your life. And I would say that it's affected my work in a big way. I love Langston Hughes. How many of you guys ever heard of Langston Hughes? And Langston Hughes, what he did was he used his poetry as a way to give insight into the lives of African Americans during a time when he was doing his work. So that's what I try to do. I kind of was inspired by his style of writing. So I'm going to share a piece with you guys now. Is that all right? All right. Picture me trying to survive in a city where the youth is deprived and you ain't got to have a reason to die. Because bullets will fly and leave you stiff. Now you rocking the tie. They be dropping supplies. Guess that's the reason we high. Maybe the government discovered how to plot the demise of a people who is destined to rise. So open your eyes. Let the wind float your mind in the sky. As my pen strokes the pain and the lies. Look, it's genocide. Many tried, many died. I'm a Gemini. So turn the other cheek, Martin, and let Malcolm ride. They put bullets on sale, so it's shots fired. So why is welfare like apartheid? When your lung dry, I'm on top like Sung Ha. That's most diligent with Teflon penmanship, only in a positive rap where y'all reap the benefits. Because we the future. It's time to finish it. Thank you.
Give it up for John, yo. And next on the stage, give it up for my man Tiptoe, coming up next.
How y'all doing out there? My real name is Montrell, but they call me Tiptoe because when I was younger, I did a lot of rapping and poetry, and the name just stuck. And I walked on my tiptoes, so the name stuck to me through all these years. I was born and raised in Germantown, and I just want to tell y'all a story. Like, I don't know about y'all, but me, I never had like a male role model. So this piece I wrote is a tribute to Harriet Tubman, just symbolizing a woman's strength. It's called Marvelous Girl. My people, we are all descendants of kings and queens and warriors who served amongst the throne. Our history started before picking cotton and whips that cut flesh to the bone. I used to think NAHS was just pop and fly for the sake of his book of rhymes when he spoke these lines, but I soon realized he was speaking the truth. I love rap but hate it because everyone's not creative, but everybody and their mom trying to get in the booth. Man, I wish Harriet Tubman could spit, because if she could spit, she'd probably be dopish. Well, let's just say she'd be somebody I listen to. Due to history, we know her background. She's quick to lay the smack down. She escaped slavery bravely and came back most wanted to our master's hometown with a rifle. Like, forget the talking, I'm sparking, I ain't come here to scrap. But now that I think about it, I take it back. Let's just say her rifle was for any unexpected meeting she might have been greeting, because to avoid death or a beating, I'm pretty sure she would have been sweating and leaving. Anything that stood in her way no longer breathing. But don't mind me, because I'm just teaching. Her will was strong. While slaves were sleeping and master was eating, Harriet was outside creeping, getting her Moses on. And just because most men look like it don't mean they all strong, because to give freedom to some, she had to threaten to do them harm. Like raising her gun to their tongue, telling them either find freedom with me or find freedom with God. Whether free man or free soul, freedom shall play a role on you this day. She took grown men, slavery away. And it must have felt like her against the world. 2 words for Harriet Tubman, marvelous girl.
Give it up for Tiptoe. Next coming to the stage, EW.
How y'all doing? My name EW. Tell y'all a little bit about myself. I know we all grew up in the struggle. I grew up a little sad, I had to come out of my sadness through poetry. My role models in my life, I don't know if y'all, familiar with the scriptures, but the people in the scriptures like Joseph, King of Dreams, David, Psalms, Solomon, Proverbs, those was my role models, the wisdom that they had in the book. And it brought me, to where I am today or whatever. And this is my life. This is called The Road. My life in agony, my days seem too short. My position, pain, hate, destruction, that's my fate. It's unbelievable to think murder one, not murder none. This smoke, it has me. In which way? In every way. Plain and simple is not included in any of my days. Hunger for smoke, hunger for smoke. Yo, why it ain't here yet? Pastor L my way. I inhale. My spirit speaks. Here it comes, the blackness, the fog of pain, hate, and destruction. My body is filled with this ignorance and disobedience of this earthly God of destruction. My spirit is telling me no, but my flesh is screaming, yes, yes, give me more, more. I must inhale this abomination in my chest. My spirit yells out, no, no, the Creator's watching. My flesh speaks, be gone. Pain, hate, and destruction is your fate. But you can last. put your past in your past. Why should I? It won't last. Every living being seeing what I'm seeing, they'll be there. Where? In the realm of ignorance and disobedience. Pain is love, hate is fate, destruction is the way of life. Yo, tiptoe, pass that L. No, stop before it's too late. I inhaled. My heart is slowly dying. My lungs are closing. My brain isn't functioning. I see the gates. I see the gates. Damn, is this our fate?
Okay, before we bring the next poet to the stage, I want to teach y'all our mantra. When I say poetry, I want y'all to say in motion. Can y'all do that? All right, let's try it. Poetry. Poetry.
In motion.
One more time. Poetry.
In motion.
Next poet coming to the stage is Will Little.
1, 2. Y'all all right? Y'all feeling this? Okay, that's what's up. My name is Will Little. I'm the founder of Poetry in Motion. And one of the reasons why I founded Poetry in Motion is to try to do an outreach program for the youth, you know what I'm saying, in the schools. Like we travel to all the schools like in the Philadelphia area and sometimes outside of Philadelphia just to give them a little glimpse of our life. I mean, a lot of times we're influenced by other things. Is it radio, if it's TV, or if it's our peers. We're influenced negatively to do negative things like get high, you know what I'm saying, use drugs. Like Bink was talking about, Brother E.W. was talking about his poem and how it's not good to use drugs, how it's not good to carry guns, how it's not good to hurt someone or bully somebody, you know what I'm saying, or how to manage their anger, you know what I'm saying, direct your anger to something more positive. And that's what we took a chance to do in our own life. When we became angry, we wrote material down, we wrote it on paper. We can't relate to our parents or our brothers or our peers, we wrote it down on paper. You know what I'm saying, when we wrote it on paper, it's like a piece of therapy for us. So it was therapeutic, so it helped us get through whatever trial that we have. So any of y'all have any trials and tribulations that y'all going through, y'all need to talk to someone, and y'all don't have no one to talk to that you think can relate to your issue, then write it down on paper, talk to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Then when you talk to yourself and express it to yourself, and then you go out and abroad and you want to recite poetry, or you want to tell your story to somebody, then they can relate to it. Because a lot of us have a lot of issues that we dealt with as young teenagers growing up, just like you had. And one of my issues was I dropped out of school in the 10th grade. You know, so now that I'm older, I see how important education was. To stay in school and get an education is very, very important. I mean, so the influence of my streets, and the influence of my peers, and the way I lived as a young child maybe make the wrong decisions in life. So now we're trying to make the right decision. We're taking a chance to make the right decision. So we're inviting you to make the right chance, make the right decision. So this piece I got, it's called Born in These Streets. I grew up in South Philadelphia, you know what I'm saying, a very violent neighborhood and area. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we was influenced by our peers or we called our old heads, the older guys in our community that we looked up to. Everybody look up to somebody, but look up to the right person so you can be directed in the right place. I was born in these streets. I survived in these streets. My whole life was a gamble, so we threw bones on the streets. No love at home, so we found love in the streets. Love for my brothers who had the same struggle in these streets. I think my pop was a creep, because he crept away. Leaving a young brother in the hood to find his way with no map, no compass, how could I find my way? Days are dark, but I don't care to see the light of day. I want blood money, I'm like a vampire on this block. I'm dodging bullets every day, it's rapid fire on this block, but I don't care if I get shot. I feel like shooting myself. See, I used to flirt with death until I start feeling myself. Got 2 guns on the shelf and abundance of wealth, you know, crack is like vitamins in the hood. It betters your health. Now I'm deep in these streets. I got a crew with me. We all sick in these streets, man. They got the flu with me. Look death in the eyes and ask him what he want with me. You can take me or leave me. I never fear what confronts me, but that was just a blunt, see? Most got heart when they waste it. That's why they drink 151 with a cranberry to chase it. Never can face life in a sober state of mind, so we drink, lick, and smoke weed till we out of our minds. Do a buck down the street driving you out of your mind. Commit a crime so heinous, you think we out of our minds, like when they click, clack, pull back, blowing you out of your mind. 406 murders, Philly is out of their minds. So they make laws and new jails to lock us out of our minds, but most don't see it until they run out of time. Like Stanley Tookie Williams, 25 years confined. No mercy or redemption couldn't save him combined. He went from gang war to mentor, hell gates to heaven doors, street talk with metaphors. Poetry is winning this mental war. So we gonna spit it till we air our last breath. This is our birth, our life, our freedom, our death. Thank you. Now, this is the time we're gonna take the opportunity to ask if you have any questions or comments about the poetry you heard, or about the group, or even about yourselves. So anybody, raise your hand. By raise your hand, and I would like for you to stand up if you have something to say. Don't be shy. Anybody? Any questions? I hear a lot of talking, but nobody's standing up talking. Should we continue with the poetry? Oh, y'all shy. Y'all shy group, huh? Y'all shy? All right. Bring him back to the stage. Give it up for man Jay, y'all. Brother Jay.
All right. This next piece I'm gonna do for you guys, like I said to you, I got a lot of inspiration from Langston Hughes, who talked about what he saw in life and his experiences. And I thought this poem would be good because it talks about taking a chance. This poem I wrote this poem about my cousin who took a chance and he went another way. We kind of both got involved in the streets, but I took a chance and went a positive way, and he took a chance and went a negative way. All right. He was on his way home, but scared to walk alone, in a city where no one cares if shorty's packing chrome. Cause every single day, the news would play the same song about this shorty with his 40 cal blasting people's domes over nothing. Guess he thought the world owed him something. Or maybe he went crazy trying to turn nothing to something. What a habit. It can destroy your life before you get established. But nobody ever told him that. So he pushed the package across town to come up. I watched him go down. He went from nickels and dimes to quarters and pies. Now he's doing the time for serving these fiends lines. Look, I begged him to stop, but you know, he said, pushing this rock makes me feel like a star. Guess he couldn't imagine that bars would lower his shine or be his demise, because he was on his way home, but scared to walk alone in a city where no one cares if shorty's packing chrome.
Welcome back to the stage, Brother Tiptoe.
I gave y'all the good earlier, so I'm gonna tell y'all about my struggle. I believe honestly that you can never take the stride from struggling. And I think people who go through struggles, they got eye openers for life because they know what it's like. So this one is called Why My Poems Gotta Be Sad, my past struggle. Why my poems gotta be sad. I know the poetic judges gotta be mad that every year they gotta hear a poem that came from my tears. I know I told y'all I wasn't affected by my ghetto, but these streets is getting to me. Why my poems gotta be sad. Everybody else got them poems to make you happy, mad, confused, or glad, but me, I scribble pages of pain in my notepad. I found out the man I call father isn't even my dad. So I guess my old poem, Daddy Killed the Man, gotta be renamed to A Man Just Killed the Man. But don't get it twisted, I love him, he raised me, I'm just feeling bad. Like, why my poems gotta be sad? Sometimes I feel the only reason I gain in life is for life to have something to take away from me. I'm starting to pray and get high every day. I'm the seed of an unknown man, child to a mom who wasn't a mother, raised by a man serving life I call dad. Got me feeling like, dag, Why my poems gotta be sad? So Lord brother, talk to me. Why'd you do what you did? You my brother, I love you, and you were only a kid. I mean, sometimes I wasn't there for you, but you know how I get. I'm in high school, you're in middle school, sometimes we don't click. I remember practicing Affected by His Ghetto, May the 2nd, 04. Then 8 days later, I'm snapping, crying on the floor, feeling confused and mad like once again, why my poems gotta be sad? Cause May 10th, I got the news, I heard it was on the news. There was a rope around your neck, 10 inches from the ground floated your shoes. I was sad, hurt, and angry, I felt confused. Like, was it me or was it mom? Something we ain't do? Why you ain't hit me up? We could've talked it through. You seem too full of life to think life was through. The situation got me mad. Like, why my poems gotta be sad? See, I like to write a poem to make happy boys and girls, but the facts be truth, and the truth I recite. I want a happy poem, but I ain't got nothing to write.
Poetry. Y'all sleep. Y'all sleep out there. That's the cue. Can I get a poetry? Okay, coming to the stage, EW, y'all.
This next poem I'm about to recite, tell you a little bit about it real quick. It's called Double-Minded. Like I said, if y'all familiar with the scriptures in James, I think it's 1:8, it tells you that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And this is me being unstable for a lot of years of my life. And I had to choose one. I had to make a choice. You follow that bad side or follow that good side. And this is my life. Here I go again. These same old habits, they starting to show again. What brings this on? What makes me tick? Is it these people around me? Is it this environment? Whatever it is, it's making me sick. Why must I suffer? Why must I feel closed in? Why must I keep on being aggressive? Just give me a quilt and let me sleep away all this sin. God, I just feel so helpless. This pain just won't go. Slowly but surely, I try to make it. But Lord, I see hell calling. I just don't know. I feel shackled like I'm locked back in prison, full of shame, hollering your name. Lord, Lord, free me from my pain. Take away this iniquity that's shooting through my veins. My hurt seems far worse than death, which seemed to be so free. 'Cause this life that I live in sin is taking over me. When will I wake from all this pain? When will I feel peace of mind, body, and spirit? When will I feel sane? Visions of feeling successful seem to have been taking its course. But just in the nick of time, those demons appear in my mind, not an old, but a new source. I feel scrambled. These demons, they eating me alive. I feel butterflies in my stomach. That comes to no surprise. Whenever this feeling occurs, these demons, they take charge. I feel hateful and aggressive. I feel there's an enemy at large. Me, I have to take him out to relieve my stress. I lash out destructiveness, wanting to lay him or her out to death. Who are these demons and why? Why do they strive to send us to hell? What is the secret? What is the answer? Tell me, where will any of us dwell? In heaven or hell?
Y'all awake now, right? Poetry? I said it was y'all awake. Some people say yes, some people. Poetry? All right, next we bringing Will Little back to the stage, y'all.
I'm gonna tell you, this piece I wrote is it's not about myself. I'm gonna share it with y'all. It's about a homeless person that I met when I was working in the subways in Philadelphia. But it just show you how you had to learn how to be grateful for a lot of things that we take for granted. Like you have good people in your life, you have good parents, like mother and your father. You have teachers, you may have counselors, you may have the person on your block, the elder person on your block that looks out for you and try to tell you the correct thing to do. These are the things you have to be grateful for, that you have these people that are trying to direct you to the right path because they know better than what we know. They've been on this earth longer than we have. So with this homeless person, I just checked him out one day. I was looking and working real hard, struggling, making a couple of dollars an hour. But instead of me looking up, this day I decided to look down. And I seen this brother coming to the bathroom to wash himself, brush his teeth, and take care of his hygiene. But he was a homeless person, and he was always asking for change. So this day I gave him change, and he got on the phone, made some phone calls. But for some reason, he inspired me to write and just be grateful for what I have. And this poem is called Homeless. A man roams the streets looking for something to eat and a place to sleep, not knowing where his next meal will come from, not knowing what the next day may bring him. He smells of a foul odor, so we stand clear of him. And it appears to him that death is near to him, so life is totally oblivious to him. We see him in the summertime sleeping on park benches. And in the winter, heat vents as he begs for change from strangers, showing us that life is strange, especially if you make the wrong change or choices. He talks to himself because his only friend is himself, but we think he's hearing voices. Not knowing that in this man's life, there's a sign and a lesson. If you look at his life and reflect upon yours, you see your way of life has truly been a blessing. We may become cold sometimes, but we have heat. And we may hunger sometimes, but we eat. And we sleep on the name brand, we sleep on name brand beds like Cold, Craftmatic, and Silly. Then we got the nerve to scream, life is hard or life is unfair, but ask yourself, is it really? Now, isn't that silly? Try sleeping on cardboard boxes and wearing ripped up boxes and clothes that have a funk in them for days. Try walking the streets in the wintertime in the holiest pair of sneaks, eating from the nearest trash can instead of eating at Fridays. His life is an example of how low you can go, one of the two extremes. You're either richer than rich or you're poorer than poor. And I just want to live in between. So be grateful, y'all. Thank you. I should show you that gratefulness goes a long way. I'm saying in dealing with your own life situations and everything else, but dealing with trials and tribulations, the things that us as young men and women go through. I mean, we have that same experience, but we fought through it by taking that chance, by doing the right thing. And sometimes we don't know what to do, so we just react on emotions or anger. So even like with our poetry, we try to help deal with stereotypes. We try to help deal with anger management. We try to help deal with choices and consequences, conflict resolution, and things of that nature. Because these are things we have to go through in life. But the most important thing we have to recognize as young people is we have to recognize help when we see it. When somebody's coming to help us and offering us a hand and accept it. Like your teachers you have today, teaching you the importance of education. Because without an education, your life is going to be hard. Without knowledge, life is hard. The only way you're going to get through life is by knowing and understanding what you have to do in order to compete or compare to what's out there in society. So we ask you to take a chance. How many of y'all willing to take a chance to do something different with your life that's more positive? That's more positive. By raising hands. Raise your hands. Take that chance. That's what Sneakerville is telling y'all and teaching us. To try to take a chance in life. Get that education. That's the most important thing. Y'all have any questions or comments? All right, what's the question? Shh, respect her, y'all. Give respect for the mic. So she's on the mic, she's taking a stand, and she's taking a chance to talk to us. We asked for questions earlier, nobody wanted to raise their hand, so let's give her the opportunity of respect on the floor. No, we didn't. We just formed, as I put the word out that I wanted to form a group, And then I went out sometimes scouting at different venues for poetry. That's how I found some of the poets. And some of the poets seen us perform, like y'all see us perform, and they wanted to be a part of the movement. So they joined the group.
Any more questions?
Get to close. Okay, that comes to an end to our program. Thanks for having us. Thanks to Sneakerville for bringing us in.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening and being attentive. Thank the principal for having us in here.